We are live.
Thank you. So welcome everyone for the node.js project. I was about to say node.js Foundation, but I'm not sure I can say that anymore. Security working group meeting for the 25th of March 2019. We have a light agenda today, but let's see how it goes. As usual, please, you can open the minutes of the meeting on another tab at the same time. Is there any announcement someone wants to be doing today? I actually have one, which is issue number 494, reminding everyone that next month, in a month today, the vulnerability database will be removed from the main repo of the working group to move to their own repository named security advisories. Does anyone else has another announcement to make? All good. So let's move to our first. I'm not sure I'm listening anywhere. Okay. Can you all hear me properly? Because it's oddly silent right now.
Yeah, I think we're all muted.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Just, I felt a bit lonely. So on the agenda, we have 3 items today. First one is the announcement I just made. Second one is issue 475 regarding the funding from Coinbase for bug bounties. Liran suggested we close that topic in favor of 503, which defines the guidelines, the criteria for distributing bounties to security researcher. Should 503 replace this issue in the agenda? Should we keep the first issue in the agenda? Does anyone have an opinion on that?
I guess I'm curious, like, what is the explicit difference? And are these two mutually exclusive?
So reading Liran's message, it seems that the first one would be more generic, and the second one is more action-oriented, with defining criteria, and the first one was a more wide and general discussion.
Okay.
I haven't been really active in neither of them, so I don't know much more. I will.
So,
yeah.
I'm just going to say, looking at this, is this looking for consensus? 503?
I think so. Yeah, indeed.
I think it's tricky to make any remarks or come to any conclusion when the main people who were involved in this are not present, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
So let's keep it for next meeting, hoping that active people, or we'll close it synchronously. Let's see how it goes then. Okay. Is anyone taking notes? Sorry, I haven't checked that.
No. I can do that.
Yes, thanks. Okay. And last item, I added it to the agenda only today. It's an issue opened by Isaac Evans. They have a vulnerability research tool, and they want to check how we could ensure large disclosure of vulnerabilities, because their tool would basically, I'm not sure if Evan is here today. He told me he might be joining.
Is there a link to this?
Yeah, it's, I'm updating the minutes right now. Cool. It's issue 505. let me just do that. So Evans told me he might be joining the call, but he's not here. So the question is, could we find a process to handle large disclosures of vulnerabilities? We've done that once informally with prototype pollution last year, but we are in the situation where some third party could be reporting 20, 40, 50 vulnerabilities at once. And given the workforce in the ecosystem triage team, it's sometimes challenging to handle everything at once, meaning checking if the vulnerability is valid, contacting every package owner, recontacting every package owner, and help them fix the issue.
I have a little bit of an opinion on this. So generally, I think the buffer issue is something that has been very, very widespread and might result into a lot of vulnerabilities being found. At the same time, as far as I know, in newer node versions, this use is completely not possible anymore. So all this old code will break eventually for the better, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how helpful this actually is, because everyone who runs a newer or modern version of Node will be annoyed by deprecation warnings. Plus, everyone who uses the ESLint security check rules will be made aware of this since, I think, a few years by now.
So, I mean, I kind of have a counter to that. What's the lifespan or the long tail of Node LTS that doesn't care about that? Like, you can still use Node new buffer. I think it's a couple years out still.
Yeah, that's true. I still think, I mean, this is like, if you just look for this on GitHub search, you find hundreds, if not more, of repositories using this.
I think Nikita raised hand, but...
Yes, I want to say that the buffer deprecation variant does not work inside node models directory, so it works only for the top level code. It isn't shown if some dependency that you use uses the deprecate buffer constructor without an extra opt-in flag. So if you don't specify an opt-in flag, you don't get hurt about that. And there are still a lot of modules that are using the buffer constructor. And the overall usage is not going down. Just
that's a good point. I was not thinking about actually the modules that are included, that they don't respond to this. Okay, that changes the whole point. Sorry. Thank you for clarifying this.
When npm warns about vulnerabilities, is it sensitive to the particular node version you're using? Or does it just say it has a vulnerability even though it doesn't apply to your particular node version?
As far as I know, it's only based on the package version, but I'm not 100% sure.
I don't think they're detecting for that, and I don't think it's just like, does this have a vulnerability? If so, yes. Like, send this error. And honestly, like, I don't particularly care about the differentiation. I think that's better to have people warned about that than not warning them about that.
I would also say that sometimes I use a different version for npm install that when I run a script, basically because my IDE use a certain version of Node and my NVM settings are using another version of Node. So I can be in a mismatch situation sometimes.
I think we should be more concerned about people running vulnerable code than people being warned about vulnerabilities, particularly because this one is so easy to fix. It's not like you have to, like, there's a one-to-one replacement for the buffer constructor for a new call. There's not going to be technical issues.
I actually have a list of those sorted by downloads per month of packages that are still using the deprecation buffer constructor, and I'm willing to share that list to anyone who can help send pages to those packages.
I'd be
I
happy to
think
help with that.
Probably some people here already have access to that repo.
Does the NPM tool, is it actually using the security working group's vulnerability database as an input?
No, it uses NPM, their advisor's source, as far as I know. And it's also not doing like static analysis of like, hey, you're using new buffer, and it's just from the advisory.
Oh, I would be surprised if they don't import our dataset from time to time. I think Sneak does it. And we've decided to put the data in under MIT license, basically to enable vendors to use it. But I probably should bring Adam on that topic.
I don't think NPM uses that data, to be honest. When I was building Gamma Ray, I was testing that and it wasn't by the time. So I don't know, that's like maybe 8 months ago. So
yeah, I'm just guessing at this point. So you're probably better informed on that topic.
As far as I know, they use it as an input, but in manual mode to update the database. Like things that got reported were HackerOne and ended up in the database got included in the NPM vulnerability database.
So, Chalk, are there hundreds of modules that have this problem?
About the buffer constructor, that use the deprecated buffer constructor, yes. That have potential problems because of that, not sure about it.
Well, that would take an analysis per module, which nobody, I think, has the time to do, right?
So basically, that's what Isaac Evans' team is doing, in my understanding. They are building a tool to detect these kind of things.
I have to say, I'm kind of I like the idea of bulk adding JSON vulnerability descriptions and like using it as a lever to get people to fix their code. Especially given that Chakra says people are not taking the deprecation seriously.
I guess one of my questions regarding people still using the constructor is how many packages, and I'm playing the devil's advocate here, how many of these packages are actually vulnerable? And by vulnerable, I mean using the constructor in a way that it leaks data in an unsafe way. Because we could be warning package maintainers about an unsafe use of buffer constructor, but if it's something really internal, really not dynamic, and never really impacting the output of the package nor its input, they would just tell us, say, that's no use for those things because there is no exploitability scenario here.
So I guess, the thing that we've done there is like, we've also started throwing errors when it's run, which is annoying. And I think even if it's not actually vulnerable, like they're not exposing it in a path that's vulnerable, it would be nice of us to go help them fix that and get that error out of their system. Additionally, bringing that context, or of their module, sorry. Additionally, bringing the context of, look, this is going to break hard. Like, this is going to be a hard breakage. This API is no longer going to work at, whatever version. And in my experience, this isn't universally true, but in my experience, more modern JavaScript, so like people who are using Babel or Webpack, they are using more modern versions of Node. Which means they're going to hit that breakage before, a large enterprise would be hitting that. So that it's more of like we're just trying to go and help their ecosystem before that breaks. And I'd prefer, if we are going to do that, sorry, and like for what it's worth, I'm not a member, but I'd prefer that if we are going to do that, we should try to do that before like that date gets close, rather than like scramble at the last minute to do that, if that makes sense.
I think it does. That's a good point. So we should sync up with Isaac events and try to put up a task force regarding buffer. Would that be a solution?
It would help. One of my concerns with the problem of, like, it seems like we're a little bit concerned to push onto maintainers this job of updating their code if we don't know that it's a vulnerability. But I have to say, from my perspective, it's their responsibility as a maintainer of software to make sure their code doesn't have vulnerabilities. So right now they're pushing, these hundreds of package maintainers are pushing onto hopefully some group of external people who are going to go through their code and see if the buffer usage is or is not a vulnerability. And that group of people doesn't exist. He's going to do that for free. So, I don't know. Chalker, Nikita, the 12.x actually removes the vulnerable buffer constructor, right?
No, I don't think that anything has changed in 12.x.
Oh no, not yet, eh? Was it very controversial, I guess?
The usage is still high, so I think that the next step that we could do is to contact high-profile packages and get the patches merged in those. I have a list of those, so perhaps after that. Also, yes, I think that would be the best approach for now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, that sounds like, if I'm understanding correctly, that sounds like the path to get it deprecated fully is make modules not use it. So it's like a little bit of a catch-22 there, where like, or chicken and the egg, I guess, where we have to actually make sure we're not going to just destroy everyone as soon as they upgrade, but at the same time, we need people to not be using it to do that. Is that kind of correct, kind of?
It would not be the first time we break the internet, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'd be happy to spend time going through that list and working on like basically nailing it down from the highest priority to the lowest. And if I could even do like, I don't know, are there hundreds or thousands?
Yeah, that would be awesome, actually. So
yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to go through and at least try to do high impact ones, and from there work down, because like it was said, it's not a difficult change.
I'm in the process of adding everyone who expressed interest to the repo with that list. It's a bit outdated, but I have an update. I will upload that update probably today.
Very nice.
That would be awesome. So yeah. So I guess let's keep moving together on that. Do we want to ping Isaac and have you, Nikita, work with him and Tierney to ping maintainers and list all the most important packages?
I think that should be better solved on one-by-one basis.
Okay.
So what was the name? I didn't catch the name of the person who volunteered to go reach out to the package maintainers to contact them.
It was Tierney, I guess.
Tierney. So.
Yep. At BNB on GitHub.
And Chalker, can you make that list available somehow? Like, what is it? Is it going to be private to the security group, or is the security working group going to be able to see it?
I just added 3 people. It's under the node.js private org. It's called Buffer Ecosystem Usage. Here's the link. I'll update the data and probably update the README today.
Okay.
And you can see that, Tierney?
Give me a second. Yes, I got it.
Cool.
Okay, so I think we got the actions for that today. Is there anything else we should discuss regarding this? Awesome. Is there any item in the agenda someone would like to add, or is there any question from the people watching us on YouTube? I'm monitoring the chat.
I would like to add or discuss one additional thing.
Yes.
So the PR adding tooling for making the indices of of the vulnerabilities landed. Is there a specific way we'd like to approach getting those indices into the advisories repo? Because since they've not existed, we could probably start doing that sooner. Since there's no current API or contract there, we could probably do that sooner and get that into the just announced migration, the new advisories repo.
I'd say the sooner on the new repo, the better.
Okay.
We encourage people to use it. Actually, I don't see any reason why we would not want to do that as soon as possible.
Okay, cool. I will see if I can work on that then. It probably won't be able to be this week because of TC39, but yeah, I'll see if I can do that.
Awesome. I really hope this repo will be popular. I've got high expectation for it. All right. If there are no other questions, except hello, how are you in the chat, I think we can conclude this meeting. So thanks a lot, everyone, for joining. Our next meeting will be in a month. I will just check quickly the agenda. Does anyone have the agenda under the opened right now?
I think.
Yeah.
The agenda for today?
No, sorry, the Node Foundation calendar. When is our next meeting?
Gotcha.
Let's see. I have 25 window open. Put my hand on it quickly because I'm a terrible person. I think it will be something.
It looks like the 22nd.
April 22nd.
Yeah, I have the same. So thank you everyone for joining, and let's meet on the 22nd of April.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you all. Take care.